What's the deal, my people? You know what it is, Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and this one is Game of Thrones Season 7 and Beyond Q&A. Let's do it.
You know who it is. It's the Don Tony Teflon, House Teflon. We pull the string. It's the Don Tony Teflon, House Teflon. We pull the string.
So I was left a lot of questions from my subscribers. Thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving all the questions. I do read every comment that is left there, without a doubt. Even if I don't comment back, I get a lot of them. I will try to, but I do read them all. So the first question was asked was, what will be the final scene that we see in Game of Thrones? The final scene shot. What will it be? And this is a very, very good question, and a very hard question. What is going to be that iconic image that we are left with when Game of Thrones is over? What is the last thing we see before the credits and the music roll? Well, I know a lot of people think that the Iron Throne will be destroyed, and there will be no Iron Throne when this is all said and done, and there will be some type of Senate or some type of democracy situation. But I do not believe that whatsoever. So I believe that we will have an image of someone sitting on the throne. I don't know who, but it's going to be someone sitting on the Iron Throne with their court around them, with their hand of king and everyone around them. And I think we will have the camera pull back from them and come like down the hallway. You know what I mean? And then I think the camera will go outside, and when it goes outside, we will see a dragon flying off into the sunset. Now, will someone be on the back of that dragon? That's another question for another time. But that's how I think that we will see this show end. Next question, and I'm not going to pronounce the names of the people asking the questions because I don't want to butcher your name, but if I can, I will put them up on the screen so you can see it. But the question is, and this is due cause to Jorah's Grayscale in the show. In the books, Moqorro, the Red Priestess, cured Jon Connington's arm with fire. I do believe he means Victorion when he's saying that. Could this happen, some form of this happen in the show? Thank you. Well, it could happen in the show. And I know that when I did that video, I said they can't, tattoo down the back is not meant to protect you when you have grayscale already. I do believe the tattoo down the back that Quaid was giving is to prevent you from getting it. So if you already have grayscale, I don't think the tattoo can help you. So I know that you're saying that, can he be given the red arm that Victorion got? Now Victorion, he has a not grayscale, but he has some type of poison in his arm. And during this time, a red priestess named Moqorro comes and saves him by basically performing a blood ritual, kind of like Mirror Master did to Khal Drogo. And this leaves his arm turned to a burnt, charcoal state with fire coming out of it and smoke. But this allows him to be much more powerful, this arm. This makes him more stronger. So, can this happen to Jorah Mormont? Since he has it on his arm, and they did put it on the arm too, so it does seem like this would happen. But this would mean, if this was the case, that he would have his own storyline, alright? Then he would have to have Victorion's storyline, and then he would have to have Jon Connington's storyline, all wrapped up into one. I don't know if they're going to give him all of these storylines to that one actor. I mean, it's possible that they could do that, but to me, it's just a lot of storyline to give one actor from different characters. So I would have to say no, that's not going to happen. As I said in the video, I do believe it would be Samuel Tarly that cures the grayscale for him, because I think the grayscale, especially in the books that we're talking about, is going to be a big outbreak of it in Westeros. I think it's going to spread around and stuff. I don't think it's going to be one or two people. I think it's going to be like a plague. And whether they show that in the show or not, I'm not sure. But I do believe that they will definitely do that in the books, so Sam will have to cure this grayscale. In the books and the show. In the show, the motivation will be if Gilly or some little monster Sam gets it, if he thinks like that, then I would think that would be his motivation for it, you know what I mean? Because as I said, you know, a man would do anything for a woman. If his woman gets it, he's going to try to cure her. And I think that's what it'll be when it goes down. But good question, and thank you for it. My next question, still relating to this situation, is, Tony, do you think that while Sam is at Old Town, he will find out about Jon's parentage? I can't see a way of him finding out about Jon's parentage. Now, we can go, if there's a record, now, it would have to be some form of record. We see that they have records in Old Town. Is there a record of Jon's birth being that he's a Targaryen? No. I think that if it was, it would have already been out there. I don't think they would have been able to keep that a secret. So I don't know if he's going to find that out. I don't really think it makes a factor for him to find that out. I don't know if it changes Sam's story in any way if he finds that out. So I don't really think it's important for him to find that out. So I don't think he will. I think Jon will find out his parentage himself, but I think that will happen later on in the season, but it definitely will happen. Jon will definitely find out about his own parentage. Most likely that would be from Bran and maybe Howland Reed. I really don't know if they're going to do Howland Reed in the show, but definitely it will be Bran. That's why I think it's going to take a little bit before it gets to Jon, before he figures out who he really is. But Peter Baelish will figure it out and spread the word to Sansa before Jon finds out. And Sansa will probably keep that from him. Alright, next question is, what if we got it wrong and Bran, not Jon, is the prince that is promised? I just don't see how it's going to be possible that Bran is the prince that is promised. He doesn't fit the bloodline. So, obviously the bloodline has to come from Rhaegar's parents, and there's no way for Bran to fit that bloodline. So, I just can't see it in any way possible. Just that fact alone, this shuts the whole thing right down. Everything else could fit, but without that, the prince that is promised must come from that bloodline. Bran does not come from that bloodline, so it's impossible for him to be the prince that is promised. But speaking about Bran, which we can for a second, Bran's part will be that he's going to walk one of those dragons. Now, the dragon will be taken over by Victorion, and Bran will have to walk this dragon to maintain control of this dragon. Obviously, we see a scene in it that someone falls off the dragon in the sky. We've been hearing rumors that that's going to happen. That is most likely Daenerys falling off the dragon when the dragon horn is being blown, or someone falling off it when the dragon horn is being blown and taken over by Euron, and it tosses this person off into the water. Specifically says the water, so they don't want this person to die. Tosses them off into the water and flies off to Euron Greyjoy. Not Victorian, I'm sorry, but Euron Greyjoy. I think that's what that scene is that they're saying. All these leaks, I wish they would stop, because it's not hard to predict things if they give you all these leaks. I'd rather predict things when they don't give you anything, so it's a real prediction, not a prediction that from what people are seeing, and and everything else. Next question is, dealing with this situation, how will Sansa react when she learns of Jon's true lineage? I think that Sansa will be jealous, as she always has been, so most likely Sansa will be doing the treating, as we've seen from the leak, or what the supposed leak is, that Sansa is going to be doing treating on Jon's behalf with Daenerys, right? She's going to go down there and she's going to talk and she's going to negotiate deals for him, which seems good and stuff like that, but Sansa's jealous, and she would definitely be jealous when she sees that situation go down like that. Will that happen? I guess that's what the leaks are saying. It makes a lot of sense for it to happen. I don't think that they would just send Jon Snow right down there. He's going to be dealing with what he had to deal with in the north. And then while Sansa and Davos and Brienne and them arrive down there. That could be them in the pajamas, but we also think seeing Jon in those pajamas too. So I don't know if that is that scene. I do think I know what that scene is with Pod and them, everything else in those pajamas. I do think I know what it is. And I'll put that out in another video. If y'all would have asked me that question, I would have put it out in this video. But I think, as I said, Sansa will be definitely jealous of the situation, as she always has been, as she will be. That's just who she is right now. And I think that she probably thinks that she is owed something. She's been through a lot, and she's probably like, shit, I've been through all this, and now this bastard brother of mine is the true heir to the throne? Fuck this. Something has to give. Alright, so this next question is dealing with that. So it says, Tony, keep them coming. Did you see the photos on Watchers of the Wall with Jon, Sansa's double, Pod, Brienne? Maybe you can have a closer look at the one of Pod. Looks like he has tubes stitched into his clothing. So, the picture of Pod, let's focus on that real quick. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it up, but hopefully I can find the picture online and I'll pull it up for you. It does look like something. Looks like either this is a heating vest, Like looks like the coils that are in your heating blanket. So is the heating vest, was he in some cold situation, ice dungeon or something like that? Or it looks like it's some blood situation that his whole body's going to get wet and it's going to be exploding packs on it. Either way, it's not a good situation. This is not a good look for Podrick, Mr. Magic Dick. And I don't know, but I thought he should have died last year. So hopefully he does die this year. I don't see him being around and what part he has to play anymore. I think he's done what he had to do. So most likely I'm going to go with the latter, that it is some type of blood situation and maybe he gets Quentin. Maybe that they give him that role. And he gets Quentin in the dragon pit if something such a situation happens like that. Could go down like that with Pod, you know. So, but if I had to pick one thing, I would say he gets Quentin, and that's why he has that on, and that's what he's going to burst into. Because we haven't seen that yet. I mean, we've seen that someone get eaten, but it's not the same as someone that we care about get eaten by the dragons. And I think we need to see that. Now, that could be Cersei later on. She can go out like that. But, you know, the Valancourt theory does quash that situation with Cersei. So, if that's the case, who will be eaten by a dragon? We have to see someone that we care about get eaten by a dragon. It happened in Dance with Dragons. It's going to happen again. Alright. So this is the next question is, how about this? Jon joins Dany. Sansa marries Robin and now is the Queen of the Vale and the North. But it is Littlefinger that pulls the strings just like he did in King's Landing. Sansa finds out about Littlefinger being responsible for Ned's death, and she kills him in episode 7. I think that's a solid prediction. I think that is quite possibly will go down exactly as you said right there. Sansa will definitely become Queen of the Vale. She's definitely going to marry Sweet Robin, and she's definitely going to throw Littlefinger through the moon door. Not personally herself with her own fingers, but he will be tossed through there. There's no way she's not going to be Lord or Queen of the Vale. They have a weirwood tree for her throne seat. There's a reason why that tree is made of weirwood. It's because a Stark is supposed to be sitting on it, and that's going to be her. She's going to sit on that throne, and that's going to be her spot. Now, I'm doing a video on the castles of Game of Thrones. I don't like to give stuff away, and that'll be the next one to come out, because when I give stuff away, other people start to bite the idea. But I will talk more into that and deal with the Vale when I do that video. That'll be the next couple of videos that you see released from me. But yes, she is definitely going to take that over without a doubt, and she's definitely going to hold down. Now, whether she holds down Winterfell and that at the same time, I don't know. I mean, it may be, you know, in a matter of speaking. Now, we've seen it happen before because we've seen Robb become King of the North and King of the Trident, and he had both titles at the same time. So it's possible that Sansa could become Queen of Winterfell and Queen of the Vale, if you want to say that, or Lady of both, alright? Whichever way works for you. If Jon becomes King of the Seven Kingdoms all the way down in King's Landing. That's the only way I see it taking them both on for a very long period of time. It would have to be a situation like that. But I do think it's possible that that goes down like that, without a doubt. No doubt. Good prediction. Alright, next question is, Tony, I was just wondering what your take is on people of color not getting big roles in Game of Thrones. Well, listen, I would love to see people of color, especially women, in there all day. You know what I mean? Of course, it's make it more relatable to me, and other people of color. You know, so I would also like to see, you know, and I mean, when I say people of color, I mean Asian people, black people, Latino people. I mean everyone. I mean, you know, I would like to see them all because I like everyone, especially because, you know, Tony Teflon's model baby is we all black when the lights go out. So come lay down with me. You know what I mean? So I would love to see it all day. You know what I mean? I would love to see it, but I don't want, if it's not in the books like that and that's not the storyline, then don't just do it just to do it. You know what I mean? It's like Luke Skywalker is a white guy, but we can't change him to a black guy because we need to have a black person in it. You know what I mean? In Star Wars. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So if this is the way it was written for it to be a European setting, and this is what George R. R. Martin wanted it to be, then do his vision and let it be what he wants it to be. If we need more black people in these shows, then as George R. R. Martin said himself, we need black people to start writing some shows and Spanish people to start writing some shows and putting our and casting our people in there so that we can see that situation. Maybe I will be the guy to get that done and do that for us. This is a question is dealing with my video that I did, I think, on Summerhall. And it is, do you think Duncan the Tall was warged and forced into creating what happened at Summerhall? I don't think he was warged and forced what happened. I think he was warged in order to save the birth of Rhaegar, for that to happen. I think he was going to do it, but listen, when you're dealing with wildfire, we've seen the wildfire when it goes up. We've seen it 2 different times in the show. It's uncontrollable. You're not living in that, right? You're not living in that. There's no living from that. So when they say that he was only for the valor of the Lord Commander that people were saved, I'm saying that maybe he wanted to do it, but the Blood Raven warged him, and that's what got his dead body in there and grabbed it and pushed it out and pushed Rhaegar out before everything blew up or while it was blowing up. You know what I mean? Most likely shielded. What most likely happened is he pushed him out the door and shielded the door with his body, and it somehow held the wildfire back, and it all went up. Even though it should come straight out, as we've seen. But that's probably what happened and probably will be shown. But that's what I think, that's why I think that happened there. Listen, things repeat themselves in the story. It happens all the time. So when we see Hodor holding a door saving people, don't think that didn't happen in the past. And if it did happen in the past, there's a story, as I said, that fits the bill 100% for it to happen. I do believe that we will find that out in the end of the Duncan Egg books, if he ever does get to the end of those books, that it will end just that way, without a doubt. Next question is, do you think that Blood Raven is evil? I think that Blood Raven, now I got in a little bit of trouble calling people evil. Listen, because people in these YouTubers, you want to try, when people say stuff, you want to try to, and go from that letter of the word, and people don't have a lot to say. This is what they say to try to make that point. Is Blood Raven evil? Does he do evil acts? Yes. I don't want to hear, people are gray in this book. Listen, there are good guys and there are bad guys. There are heels and there are not. Is Blood Raven a heel or a babyface? He's a heel. We could put it like that. Does he do things with evil intent? Maybe not. Maybe not in his eyes. Maybe he thinks he's doing the good things for the realm. But the intention when they come out is evil, as causing the spring sickness that I believe he did, as in causing the tragedy of Summerhall, which I believe he did. So when you look at these situations now, is it an ends justify the means type situation? We have to wait to see if that plays out there, if that goes down. But I 100% think that Blood Raven is down with the White Walkers. Me personally, I think he doesn't want to be stuck in that tree. I think he's going to try to use some Atlas Stone type situation to try to get Bran in the book stuck in that tree and get his body out of that tree. I mean, mental transfer, when you transfer your brain into someone else's brain, that's basically what you're trying to do, right? Take over someone else's body, but you have to be able to maintain your powers. Other people can take over other people's bodies, but they will not maintain their walking ability. If he's able to take over Bran or Jon Snow, and Jon Snow is exactly built the way he's built. Same thing, same blood. Targaryen, Stark, North blood. Targaryen, North blood. That's what he has in him, right? So it would be if he was able to do that and take over Jon or Bran or anyone like that, it definitely would be a good situation for him. Then he would be able to maintain the powers that he had and then go back out there and do what he has to do. Listen, there's a lot going to go down with Melisandre and Blood Raven this season coming up. You will see it, I promise you that. You will definitely see it go down. It's not over with them. Now, I mean, well, let me take that back real quick. Blood Raven in the show, it did look suspect to me the way he died. I'm going to tell you that straight out. Definitely looks suspect. You go back and watch that, it looks suspect to me. But will they bring him back up again in the show? I don't know. As I said, the show is a condensed version of the book. So you may not need him. They may only need one villain in the end of the books, the Night's King. And they may not have to flesh out his story. We just know he's an ice guy and he's bad and that's it. You know what I mean? So it's a type situation like that. And that's the way I see it with him. So they may not put that in there. In the books, definitely you will see the true motivation of Blood Raven and why he has done everything. And believe me, it all comes down to a woman. As always, it goes back to a woman. It will play itself out like that when it's all said and done. this will be the last question that I take on this Q&A. I had a great time doing it. I hope you enjoyed listening to this Q&A. And the last question is, will the White Walkers conquer all the Westeros, or will they be defeated early on? I will tackle most of this question in my next video series that I'm talking about. We'll talk about all that. I will say this. You have heard me say this before. So, I will say it again. The White Walkers are not a threat, people. They're not. If you look at what they do, when it comes down to it, they are no threat whatsoever. If you have wildfire and some people with some daggers that have obsidian tips on them, and you throw the wildfire on the whites, and you shoot these arrowheads with dragon tip glass at the whites, eventually some of them are going to land. And it's going to hit them. It only takes one shot. It's not like they get hit with dragon glass and it injures them. They get nicked with it and it's over for them. You know what I mean? So, you take that in account with the dragons of Dany, there's nothing they can do. There's no threat. You can just hang out on the wall, have 3 dragons on the wall shooting fire down, and just chill. They couldn't touch you. It would be no problem. That is why, without a shadow of a doubt, in the books, there has to be an ice dragon. There has to be something to even the odds for the White Walkers. And that was the #1 reason why I always said I thought there will be an ice dragon, and why I still think there will be an ice dragon. We know Bloodraven has a dragon egg, and we know that ice dragons don't give me, oh, it's going to be a baby. Ice dragons, the colder it gets, is as fast as it grow. And if it keeps getting colder, they'll keep getting bigger. It has to be an ice dragon. Has to be. In the show, maybe not. It'll definitely be Euron taking over, using the horn to take over a dragon, and that'll probably whittle the dragons down before the White Walkers come, but we need an ice dragon. Could we get a white dragon? We can get a reanimated dragon. Yes, after Euron's dragon dies or something like that, gets killed, we can get the Night's King touching that and jumping on the back of that. Listen, we are getting a dragon fight, a fire dragon in the air with the Night's King. How can't we? How can't we get Jon Snow jumping off the back of that dragon, leaping onto the Night's King with the sword and putting that sword right through his chest in midair? How can't we get that? We need that, people. We definitely do, so I hope we do. So, I would like to say thank you for everyone who has listened to my pleas of sharing and liking my video. I really do see the difference in it, and I do appreciate it, so keep doing that. And as I said before, if you want to support me on Patreon, $1 a month, that is great. That is not a lot of money to ask for. That's $12 a year, but $1 a month, that would help me out tremendously. I'd be able to upgrade everything and put more videos out quicker, and that's what I want to do. I would like to do more videos, but I can't do more videos unless I get a little bit more support, because I got to make a living. You know what I mean? I got to do that. And people have commented on the Don's t-shirt. People like the Don's t-shirt. People said that they have some friends with some tittle bitties, and they want to put them in the Don's t-shirt. I would love to see that, without a doubt. So, I will go on, and I'll try to make t-shirts or make them available for purchase. I'll figure out how to do that within the next week, so probably next month. I'll definitely have it done before Christmas so people can get some house Teflon t-shirts for Christmas. Oh my God. Alright, I gotta go, people. Gotta go. So, if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace! And stay sexy.